In New York, San Francisco, and in Oakland. New York, San Francisco, and Oakland, y'all, is wild out in these streets because it's not just Chicago. Let's start off with, and shout out to Rita. I'm going to read that super chat shortly. Let's start off with what's happening over in New York, y'all.
I want to take a good look at your screen right now. Just a short time ago, police released surveillance video, this one showing the three people behind an armed robbery of a Gucci store in Manhattan's meatpacking district. They are still on the run this morning. Eyewitness News reporter Phil Tate live there with more on what that video police want you to see. Phil?
Yeah, well, it's just a pretty wild story as police tell us this Gucci store was held up by three suspects just around noon yesterday. New this morning, police releasing surveillance video. Let's get straight to it right now. It captures all the mayhem that happened just beyond those doors. Now, take a look at your screen. This is at the 14th Street store, and you can see one person disguising their appearance with their guns drawn. Now, in just a moment, one robber jets to the store merchandise, grabbing everything that he could. The other robber follows in similar pursuit, even pulling a Gucci luggage set. Now, outside the store, the third female suspect is caught on camera, who appears to have a gun in hand moments before the three got away. Now, for many we spoke with yesterday, they are just trying to wrap their minds around this robbery that happened in broad daylight.
We came in to spend the day. You know, the kids are off from school today. It's a nice family day, and that's like the last thing I would expect.
It's very daring.
Guess what, buddy? Guess what, buddy? Yeah, Upper East Side ain't the Upper East Side no more. Let me see what you look like.
It's a nice.
Hey, guess what, buddy? Let me tell you something. New York ain't a real place either. Chicago ain't real. New York ain't real. And just because the kids had an off day today because it was President's Day and so it was the off week, you thought that you was going to spend a nice day with your scarf and your well-tailored coat and, you're off of work and Wall Street wasn't calling you today because it was President's Day and you were going to go out and take care of business and hang out with the kiddos and get some lunch? No. Guess what? The culture is here. The culture is here. Let me give you a round of applause. The culture is here. Yes, they are. Yeah, they here. They walking around with guns in New York, which is a heavily policed, non-tolerant gun state. And they there and they robbing you and they taking your Gucci bags and they making it unsafe for you and your kids is going to be traumatized by seeing somebody run up in the store and rob it in broad daylight. They're not even waiting for the nighttime. They moving slow. They pants is sagging. They can show their butt crack. And guess what? Nobody is getting arrested. When they said that they still on the run, it ain't that nobody is chasing them. It's that they didn't catch them. Yeah, buddy, this is happening right in your neighborhood.
Family day, and that's like the last thing I would expect.
It's very daring at the middle of the day for somebody to rob a very high-end store at gunpoint and put all the...
You see that little fat police girl with them big old cheeks on her? You think she chasing somebody? Let me tell you something. That girl is all of 219. 219, and I'm not talking about burger 1, 2, 219. I'm talking about 219 pounds, LBSs. Do you think that for 1 second that lady right there is stopping anybody or anybody is feeling, scared of this? That girl can't be no older than 21, 22, 23 years old, and she probably going to be going home and playing video games when she get home. She not doing no sit-ups. She not going nowhere. We also know that they're recruiting like they can find anybody that got a body. You can become a New York police officer because they already short-staffed. Eric Adams has already cut the budget. They also short about a good 2,000 to 3,000 police officers. And so ain't nobody scared no more. Y'all protested. Y'all said defund the police, all of that. You think that this person right here, listen, don't sit here and try to look at me as crazy because I don't believe in diversity, equity, and inclusion. We need the best people that's for the job. There used to be stout people that had muscles and they were well paid and their pensions were funded and they didn't have to deal with all of the political bull crap in order to stop the criminals. And it was men. It was men that was out here policing and making sure that you wasn't doing the thing that you were supposed to do. And now you want to sit here and have a conversation with me because the diversity, equity, and inclusion program got this little chubby thing on the streets trying to stop you from stealing in the Gucci store. Stop it. Stop it. And she ain't stopping nobody. She not stopping nobody. Listen, let's be clear. Y'all did this because you wanted to A, defund the police, and then B, you wanted to be a part of the diversity, equity, and inclusion program. And then C, on top of that, you think that women are supposed to be doing everything that men do, and they're supposed to be getting paid the same amount. So now you got Mama over here standing there waiting for her break so she can go and eat a Kit Kat. And she not in a position to be able to do nothing to nobody. Let's be real. If I call the police, I'm on my own. I'm on my own. I don't want no woman in the police department except for doing administrative work or maybe she could be a detective. I don't want this woman coming to try to save me. Every single police officer that's out in the location where I am right now, I have not seen a woman, not one. And I know him by name. Hey, Mr. Daniels, you over here going 110 miles an hour going down this street. What are you doing? I knew it was you because it's your Porsche. My bad, big dog. You know what? I thought somebody was following me. That's my go-to. I thought somebody was following me, so I want to make sure that I lost them. Man, slow down, Anton. You crazy. All right, you right. My bad. And I got to go and make a donation to the Police Benevolent Fund to make sure that they don't give me no problems. But I don't know no police officers. That's a woman over in my county, in my city. I don't know none. But this is what y'all voted for. You wanted diversity, equity, and inclusion. You wanted to have depolicing in your city. And so now don't sit here and complain about the fact that you got what you asked for. You protested for it. You voted for it. Don't sit here and complain about it because that's exactly what they're doing. They're not doing it in New York also. They're doing it everywhere, including in San Francisco. Look at what's happening in San Francisco.
Newly released video of a robbery in San Francisco is raising new questions about SFPD's pursuit policy. This video shows officers arriving on the scene and letting the suspects get away.
It looks as though the arriving officer waits for a full 15 seconds before the suspects run out of the building, hop in the getaway car. Here's NBC Bay Area Sergio Quintana.
Here's a security video that shows a robbery in progress at the Lookout Bar in San Francisco. It happened in September at 3:30 in the morning. A neighbor called police after hearing people breaking through the bar's front door. A police patrol car with lights and sirens pulls up behind what turns out to be a getaway car. And for 15 seconds, there seems to be a pause as the SUV edges away and two suspects finally run out of the building and hop in as the SUV makes a U-turn and drives away.
We see a police response that I think your average San Franciscan, most of my constituents would say is not great.
Supervisor Raphael Mandelman's office first obtained the video. It was part of an exchange between one of his aides and the police department trying to get an accounting of officers' response to this call. Business owners in the Castro have been voicing increasing frustration over repeated break-ins and robberies there. The video was posted on social media today by longtime local activist Michael Petrellis.
Look, even Michael Petrellis over here. You see Michael? Now, we're not going to ignore the context clues and try to act like Michael ain't what Michael is. I ain't got to say it. Michael's out here. Michael got more than a dad bod. Michael looked like a pear. He looked like a colorful pear. We know what Michael is. Michael is fed up. And listen, Michael is justified for being. Did you know that Michael is the one that released this video to the public? He had to source this police video from the Freedom of Information Act in order to show you what is happening. And the police officers pull up, they watch the robbers get out of the car, wait 15 minutes, and then the robbers just turn around, do a U-turn, and just drive away over in San Francisco. It's happening in New York, it's happening in Chicago, it's happening in San Francisco. Michael over here is shaped just like a pear. He ain't never did a sit-up in his life. He did a sit down, maybe not a sit-up. Did a sit down, maybe not a sit-up. But even Michael is fed up, and I'm 100% in agreement with what Michael is about to say. Let's see what Michael got to say.
Who filed a Freedom of Information Act request with the city to get it.
I put this video out on the web to show people this is what's happening to our small businesses in the Castro. And it's also showing that the police seem to have a policy of not going after robbers, even though they know they have likely committed a crime.
Well, Michael, guess what? This is what you guys advocated for. All of these blue cities. Listen, I just did a report earlier in this live stream, and for some of y'all that's not here, we got over 2,000 people watching as usual. Make sure you hit a like. The likes is a little bit anemic. I did a whole show where it said that Biden raised $42 million in January more. They got a war chest that's more than any other president in history, than any other candidate in history. He was one of the main ones. Him and Cam and all the other liberals, they were saying, listen, defund the police. Let's get a commitment to put money into Black Lives Matters. We want to make sure that we advocate for this initiative. We want to have a parade on the White House lawn. Well, Michael, this is what you get. Don't sit here and look at me. Straighten your face up. Straighten your face up. Don't look disgusted now. What you thought, that crime wasn't going to permeate through your neighborhood because you didn't like what was going on with the Floyd protest? Now, we have to be in a situation where I have to file a Freedom of Information request from the police, and I'm just now getting it. That was back in September. I'm talking about what's happening right now in February. Okay, September, October, November, December, January. 5 months ago, we're just now seeing what is happening on our streets in San Francisco. And I don't like it because it's almost like the police isn't even doing their job. Well, what did you think was going to happen when you defunded the police? When every time they tried to apprehend a criminal, you sued them. Oh my God, my hands are hurting. Well, that's what happens when you do criminal activity. You got to get dealt with a certain type of way. We got to manhandle you to make sure that we safe. We got to manhandle you. No more stop and frisk. No more stop and frisk. It is absolutely despicable, and we want to make sure that we are more politically correct than we are about making sure that our neighborhoods are safe. Okay, well then this is what you get. You can go ahead and get your whole roll on. Get your roll on. Everybody, get your roll on. Everybody, police yourself. Police yourself. You stop them now.
We reached out to San Francisco police for an explanation of their response to the break-in at the Lookout Bar. After reviewing the officer's body camera video, a police spokesperson gave this breakdown. As the patrol car arrived, the officer got out of his cruiser, drew his gun, and over the police car PA system repeatedly ordered the driver to stop.
Hey, everybody. Hey, you stop. You stop. You don't drive away. Stop. Hey, Sergeant, they aren't stopping. Sergeant, they aren't stopping. What are we supposed to do?
Not, and the two suspects then jumped in the car and drove off. In the video, you can see a second police cruiser follow the fleeing SUV. Over police radio, the first officer tells them to follow while he secures the scene. Later, a supervisor tells a second patrol car to stop following the SUV because of the department's pursuit policy. This is a copy of the San Francisco Police Department's
Don't follow, Burger 1 2. Don't follow the car that has just destroyed the property and robbed everything and took everything. Because what we had passed is the Police Pursuit Act on behalf of the NAACP and Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, and Ben Crump. And so as a result of Black Lives Matter having this pursuit vehicle request instituted inside of our cities, I'm going to need you to stop following the criminals and let them get away with all of the crime. Burger 1 2.
Emergency Response and Pursuit Policy. It was adopted in May of 2013. It is 13 pages long and describes when an officer can and cannot pursue a suspect. According to police, because this was a property crime with no imminent danger to the public or the officers, the responding units followed policy.
There's a ballot measure in March, Prop E, which I think is very much trying to address this feeling that we've sort of depoliced ourselves.
What? You don't say. So you saying that all of us that had some good sense, we warned you that, hey, you don't want to remove police officers off of the street. You don't want to put more social services to respond to the calls like y'all was advocating for. No, Anton, it's not defunding the police 100%. What it is we want to reallocate the resources over into the community. We're going to have more swings. We're going to have more playgrounds, and we're going to have resource officers go over there and negotiate with the criminals and resolve this amicably without having any more problems of anybody getting into any trouble, and we don't want any other mistaken shootings, okay? Because you're wrong. You're wrong, buddy. You're wrong. We don't want any of this happening inside of our neighborhoods anymore. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. I was listening to that when this was going on. Honest to God, on everything, that's what they were saying to me. White people and black people alike. White people, all for some reason, thought that they was black all of a sudden during the protest. Anton, you're wrong. I can't believe you're a black man and you're not saying defund the police. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. And I was sitting there and I was looking at them fools, and I was like, I said, you know what? You're right. You're right. Because for a minute there, I had forgot that I was rich. For a minute there, I forgot that I was rich. And I was thinking to myself, oh yeah, you're right. Because you're poor. Even though you white, you poor. And so you the person that's going to have to deal with this in your neighborhood. And that's why you see Zesty Mike over here with a lisp sitting here complaining and making requests from the Freedom of Information Act. This is why you see Mike over here whining, because me and Mike, we're in different tax brackets, so I can afford to remove myself from the depoliced areas. I said, you know what? I don't care. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. I said, all right. You know what? You're right. Leave the degenerates to the degenerates. I'm rich. You right. What am I doing? I don't have a dog. Anton, you don't have a dog in this fight. You've been black your whole life. I said, you know what? Got me. Because, sometimes we got to understand, we got to let them live in their own wild. We got to let them hang out where they want to hang out. You got it. San Francisco, you got it. Have at it. Do your thing. What you got?
Trellis, who's also a candidate for supervisor in neighboring District 9, does not support Prop E. But based on this video, he believes the department's pursuit policy should be re-examined.
The police need to do all they can to stop a crime in progress, and that they need flexibility.
Nope. And I think that the police are doing a phenomenal. Can we get a round of applause for the San Francisco Police Department? You're wrong. Byron. Meanwhile, over in Oakland, they having problems so much so that they trying to recall their mayor. They say, listen, we don't even care what the heck this mayor is doing. We don't care if you're Asian, if you're black, you're white, diversity, equity, and inclusion. We need you out of there.
Moving to Oakland now, where the recall effort of Mayor Sheng Tao took a step forward as signature collection began on Saturday. Organizers at Jack London Square made their pitch to potential voters that the current mayor is to blame for Oakland's crime issues. But her supporters tell our Da Lin the problems predate her time in office.
Robberies, burglaries, and violent crime, all of them went up by double digits in 2023 compared to 2022. Many businesses shut down, citing...
Look at that. That probably used to be a Starbucks. If we look at the green and we look at all of the bullet holes and all of the boarded up places, all of these liberal trash holes, This used to probably be a nice congregation place where you can get good Wi-Fi and you can finish your homework. You could get some coffee and have some good times talking to the people and networking effectively. You know how we used to steal Wi-Fi because we couldn't have as good of a connection at home? This used to be that. Now look at it. Welcome to Oakland, ladies and gentlemen.
Crime, especially along the Hagenberger corridor.
This specific area used to thrive on game day, whether it was the Raiders, the A's, the Warriors. It was amazing.
East Oakland.
Now, not only do you not have a team with regard to the Raiders, you don't have a team. The athletics is moving out. The teams is leaving. The team, listen, if you want to understand whether or not a city is on the upswing or the downswing, all you got to do is try to figure out whether or not the team is moving in or out. That's how I knew, okay, you know what? We on the right path. I see things happening, but it's been confirmed as far as the city of Detroit because all of the teams moved back into the city. And I said, wait a minute, we got all 4 teams? They said all 4 teams. It's all coming back into the city, Anton. I said, oh, man, I got to be at the forefront of this movement. Development, Riverwalk, all 4 teams is within a mile of each other, walkable. Public transportation is thriving. Skyscrapers is in the air. I said, I got to go back to the city. I said, okay, my daughter is at a certain age. She almost done with school. She about to get her license. Anton, I'm coming back into the city. Y'all don't even have a team no more. I never thought I'd see the day where the Oakland Athletics and the Raiders moved outside of the place that they were into a whole nother city.
Native Dwayne Tatum lives near the Oakland Coliseum.
It's frustrating because you start thinking about all the economic activity you're losing.
With businesses gone, so are the jobs and tax revenue. He believes the job loss hits his community the hardest.
I was tired of complaining about it. I wanted to put feet on the ground and actually try to turn this thing around. I'm tired of seeing, like, you got other cities that are thriving. We're headed the opposite way.
I solemnly swear.
He's volunteering to collect signatures to recall Mayor Sheng Tao.
No, wait a minute. The one thing that we not going to do, one thing's for sure and 2 things is for certain,
I solemnly swear.
is we not going to recall Mayor Sheng Tsung. Under no circumstances do we remove ourselves from the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Program. Can we get a round of applause for that? Reading Super Chat shortly. Under no circumstances do we remove ourselves from the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Program. And I advocate for you to get what you guys voted. Y'all voted her in. Don't try to recall her now. Shout out to Mayor Sheng Tsung. Sheng Tsung wins. Shout out to Mayor Sheng Tsung. We not removing her. We keeping her in office. Y'all like Asians? Y'all think that they the smartest ones that's in the room? Oh my God, they're Asian. They know how to do math better. No, that don't mean nothing. I'm advocating for Mayor Sheng Tsung to fight back. You fight back. You run this city. You got this, Sheng. Shout out to Sheng.
He's volunteering to collect signatures to recall Mayor Sheng Tao. He and other recall supporters blame the mayor for failing
Sheng Tsung, not Sheng Tao. Get it right.
To apply for millions of dollars to fight retail crime. They're upset. She fired Police Chief LaRon Armstrong with no permanent replacement a year later. And they say she lacks accountability.
So she fired the police chief with nobody to replace him. And you telling me that Oakland ain't even had a police chief in a year? Jesus. Oakland ain't had a police chief in a year? Wow. Oakland ain't even had a police chief. They ain't even got no direction. Everybody just out here riding around, just doing nothing, just chilling, hanging out. Keith Lee can't even go there and do a review. Wow.
Constantly pointing the finger at someone else.
She is a failed leader. She has just done so much wrong in terms of leadership.
But Tao supporters say the recall is a waste of time and taxpayers' money.
It's disheartening when I see folks trying to recall a mayor who's only been in office for a year.
Sabir Lockett supports Mayor Tao. He says crime has been going up in Oakland since 2019. He blames the previous mayor and the defunding of Operation Ceasefire for the rising crime.
Wait a minute. Another defunding. You telling me that the common thread amongst all of these cities, amongst many other things, but the common thread for all of these cities is defunding the police? You don't say. So wait a minute. Are you telling me that when you remove police and funds to keep your community safe, that the criminals is going to run rampant? We're going to do the Home Alone on that one. No. You telling me that insurance companies is not going to want to come in insuring vehicles, and if they do, they're going to insure them at high rates? You telling me that businesses are going to leave? You telling me the schools are starting to go down, that all of the teams is going to leave? You're telling me that if you defund the police and you make things less safe and you start to empower criminals, that crime is going to go up every single year? No. What? That's crazy.
Previous mayor and the defunding of Operation Ceasefire for the rising crime.
Mayor Schaaf and the Ron Armstrong administration that defunded ceasefire. This current mayor is refunding ceasefire. And I don't think that crime is actually any different today than it was 10 years ago.
He credits the mayor for hiring more 911 dispatchers and working with the state to install license plate readers to fight crime. He's asking voters to give Mayor Tao
nothing like a license plate reader to help you to fight crime, ladies and gentlemen.
More time.
It's a culmination.
But Dwayne worries more time for Tao means more crime and business closures.
I still believe in Oakland. The good and the bad. I believe this city can actually be thriving instead of trying to survive.
And I think that you should stay in Oakland. I think you should hold it down, 10 toes down, big dog. Hold it down, 10 toes down. Listen, I'm in support. Look at this fool in here. Somebody said, Anton, are you bisexual? Your mama is. Your mama is. Woo! Your mama is. And your daddy is. Yeah, your mama is. And that's why your mama came over to me, because your daddy is. Real talk. You see how people get easily distracted and they want to throw ad hominem attacks? Hey, man, tell your mama to come holler at me, bro. I got something for you. I got something for her. And she told me to tell you to call me daddy. Shout out to San Francisco, New York, and Oakland. You guys are a peach. You are absolutely a peach.